History repeats itself. It fails to die. You are now tuned into But What is Life podcast, the ride to relax, relate, and release into reality where things get fun, real, and the advice is unsolicited. It's your girl Ani, and I'm back to relax, relate, and release into another episode of But What is Life. How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing great on today. I'm doing good. I just flew in to the hometown last night. Almost missed my flight, but she's here. She has arrived and she's ready for the festivities, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, today I've just been dealing with this head of hair of mine. Currently deep conditioning. I don't want to actually do my hair, but duty calls and she can't be walking around looking a mess. You know what I mean? So today's episode was inspired by the fact that we don't have a lot of Black representation when it comes to movies, TV shows, or just the stereotype of Black people, like just on an average, everyday life tip, if you know what I mean. So I have a problem with that because it's quite annoying to just see negative images of people who look like me every single day. So we're going to relax into what this means. First of all I got to say is not another slave movie. Now, I will agree or admit, I should say, that I actually like watching slave movies just because I have a thing for history. So even though I know that on a movie, on a TV, no, on a TV screen, they don't actually display it as gruesome or as gory as it was. But I don't know. It just gives me a sense of kind of really just seeing versus because I'm a visual person. So I kind of like to just see things or just from another perspective of just looking at the white people in these movies and how I just wonder what's going through their minds when they're conveying the message on camera. Like, do they feel bad? Do they question things? Like, I don't know. It just gets my mind going. You know what I'm saying? But I, I'll be honest and say that, we don't need another slave movie. Y'all done got it across. Y'all's little message as far as beating us to a bloody pulp and us obeying your orders sun up to sundown, no matter what it is, dealing with, you know, our husband, our wives, our kids, whatever the case may be, we get it. Yet they have a good ass time doing that. But I will say, not another slave movie. Another thing that I'm just tired of is the fact that black men always have to be wrongfully accused and sentenced to time in prison for a crime they didn't commit. That, for me, that is just sane. Even though we know these are not lawmakers or, you know, politicians, whatever, that are creating these movies. But still, majority of the time, these movies are being created by white people coming from a, a real narrative of somebody's life. Um, and it's just it's so tired. It's like, do you really just get a kick out of beating a dead horse? Like, I just don't understand. It's like, for you to make a movie about it, but then when it happens in real life, 9 times out of 10, I feel like all, I won't say all white people, but majority of white people will look at that and it's just like, yep, that's exactly what happened. They're always doing this and doing that. Or, when it comes to a movie of a black person being wrongly accused or whatever the case may be, they probably side eyeing it like, nah, he did that shit. And it's just like, why do y'all even create these narratives in y'all's heads about the way black people act and the things that they do just on a day to day? It's always negative shit. I don't get that. I really don't. This just really reminds me of the conversation that I was just having with my uncle about um the guy that was just killed in a traffic stop, and we started talking about how white people, um they basically they basically uh portray this narrative generation after generation after generation that black people are lazy, black people are gangsters and thugs, black people steal, they kill. It's just this ugly picture of black people that they create for their children to see in their own minds, to grow up and be out in the world, to continue the hatred as adults. And it's like, when you really think about it, if we take this all the way back to slavery, first of all, who was the lazy one? Don't worry, I'll wait. Who was the one that was stealing and killing? Don't worry, I'll wait. Who was the one that was thugs and gangsters, as far as like toting guns around and all for violence? The answer to all those questions, don't worry, sis will wait. Because I know for a fact that the answer to all those questions is the same answer. And what is that answer? White people. White people was stealing black people from Africa, Africa, bringing them over here and killing them. White people were the lazy ass motherfuckers. What the fuck was they doing while we was out there mining the fields and, you know, bathing and raising their kids, breastfeeding they kids? See, that's one thing that I just don't understand. For you to hate somebody so much just because of what they look like, but then you trust them with your offspring. See, that just shows you right there that they are just evil because they didn't give a damn about their kids. How in the world could you agree that this white person here love their kids, but they giving their kids off to the person that they abuse and everything else and mistreat for them to take care of them? They can poison that child, they can beat that child, do whatever, and just say, "Oh, he was playing around." Now, of course, we already know if something bad would have happened to their child or whatever, they probably would have killed the black person. But at the end of the day, you are solely giving the person that you are abusing and mistreating all the opportunity in the world to give that same treatment to your child. But that is one thing that I will say will show you that they didn't really believe what they thought of us. They just perpetuated this narrative over and over and over again to where they started to believe their own lies. That's just like, a normal person modern day. Once you tell one lie, you gotta keep telling other lies to keep up with that lie. And the more you continue to lie, your dumb ass gonna start to believe the shit. They already know that black people are the most loving. I will say that. We are. We will literally take anybody in. I mean, white people, they just evil. I mean, not all white people, but I'm sorry, the majority, that's the whole saying. One bad apple spoils the fucking bunch. So the majority speaks for the ones that are not so bad, or the people that just happen to be white. But, that just becomes a thing where it's like, well, that's your problem to rectify and get the people that look like you in order. Like, I just don't understand when it comes to like the protesting and stuff like that. It's just it's at this point, black people do not need to be in the street protesting shit. It needs to be the white people, because my thing is, this is a problem that they have. This is not even our fucking problem. So the people that just happen to be white, take your ass to the streets. School your grandparents, school your mama, your daddy, whoever, your cousin, your whoever, your teacher, whoever you got to school. Do what you got to do, because at this point, this is not, and it has never been, a black person's problem. We just carry the brunt of it all as our ancestors did in the past. And we may not get it as brutal as they did, but we still dealing with this shit. And it's so annoying to just see it just play out on a TV screen, on a movie or a TV show. It just doesn't make any sense. We get enough of this shit on the day to day in real fucking life. We don't need to watch this shit created by a white man to watch this shit on TV. And then I feel like the fact that that stuff is available for the public just to consume, this perpetuates the generational curse of blacks and whites when it comes to this stereotype of black people. Because all the white kids got to do is be like, "Oh, well, that's what my grandma told me that they do. It's playing on a movie, so it got to be true." You know what I'm saying? And then it goes back to the same thing. Like, not necessarily like if you telling a lie, you believe it, but if somebody keep telling you that you stupid, eventually you gonna start to agree with them, like, well, maybe I am stupid. And I feel like that is the end of the spectrum that black people are on, where it's like we don't have enough positive representation of people that look like us. So a lot, I won't say all, but a lot of black people, when it comes to their motivation and or whatever the case may be, it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, well, they told me I'm not gonna be shit, so I'm not gonna try to aspire to be shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just annoying. I just can't. So this brings us to a story time. Actually, two. So my son was telling me, well, no, actually, I asked my son, I said, so what y'all be learning like in class when it comes to like history and like the African American experience? And he just gave me the whole generic Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks spiel about it. And I'm just like, so y'all don't be learning nothing about like the things that black people really had to endure. Y'all don't talk about slavery, stuff like that. And he was just like, no. And so he told me that his teacher, which by the way, this particular teacher, she was white. She was going on about how, racism is a thing of the past and all of that. And then I was a proud mother at this moment because my son, because of course, I interject like, okay, so what you say? And he was just like, I told her that racism is not over. It's still going on today. And I was like, so what she say? He was like, she ain't say nothing, but this girl in my class, I guess it was a little black girl, he said that she basically agreed with him that racism still exists today. And then he even went on to say, yeah, George Floyd. And that's all he had to say. When I say I was so proud of my young black son at that moment, don't you let no white person gaslight you into thinking or believing the shit that they want you to think or believe. She think the shit is over because she ain't got to deal with the shit every day. She don't have to have the talk with her grandkids or her kids about when they decide to walk out that door and go out in the real world and have to worry about coming home safely. So of course, it's not her experience. So to her, it's over because it's not black people in chains or being whipped and taking care of her kids and cleaning her house and everything else. So I was so proud of my child when he told me that. I'm proud now. I'm a proud mother of a young black man. Now, next story time. So, I started to try and watch the show Them on Amazon Prime. Let's just say, I think I watched 2 episodes. First of all, I thought it was a movie. That's the first thing. So when I saw it was a series, I was like, do I really want to watch this? I went ahead and pressed play. Now, I will say that, it's not so much as a When They See Us or 12 Years a Slave. It's not, well, from what I saw, it wasn't so much like that to where it felt like a horror film to me, but it definitely was suspenseful. And it was traumatic. It was. I will say that. But I will say it was not as bad as far as what I did see. But I got so tired already of just the bullying from like the white people in the neighborhood. I was just like, yeah, I'm done with this dumb shit. Like, who made this and why? Like, really? Like, what the fuck? It was so fucking annoying and just stupid. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I said, that's enough of that. It's fucking enough. Okay? But yeah, that's my story times. Like, with this whole just living it just in the everyday where I can just really relate to this shit. It's just like, what? Why? Now, a way that we can release all this energy when it comes to another slave movie or when they see us or a them. Let's just stop watching this bullshit. Cause if they don't get no fucking ratings, they probably won't make the shit no more. And if you're like me and you just have a fetish for seeing black faces on the screen, I know it can be hard to really just not watch it because you know you're gonna be able to relate to something on that screen, but just don't watch it. Me personally, when it comes to the when they see us and them, that for me, that's just it's a horror film. First of all, I don't even watch scary movies at all. I used to watch them when I was a kid, but now as an adult, I can't watch it because in my mind, it's like that's too much like reality, and I don't need any ideas going on in my head because I'm already kind of like a paranoid person where my mind just goes off on the deep end. So I don't need a horror film to help me create scenarios and horror in my mind. I just don't need that. So when it comes to black trauma and just the disposal of black bodies on a screen, it's too much like a horror film to me and it's not entertaining, so I don't want to watch it. Now, like I said previously, I do watch when it comes to the slavery movies, but that's more of a history lesson for me. And I don't get as anxious when I watch that versus the modern day movies because the modern day movies is really what's going on today, and it's like I see enough in the current events where I don't want to watch a movie about it. Now slavery, we all know that's a thing of the past as far as that type of slavery. Slavery is still going on today, it's just mental, not physical. So when it comes to the physical display of slavery, I'm okay with that, but I'm still tired of seeing it. Um, and another way we can release into just a better narrative for the black people is we need more people like Issa Rae, honey, because I will say she is one of the people that does a great job at displaying the light-hearted everyday life of a black person where you ain't got to worry about no trauma shit on the goddamn screen. You ain't got to worry about a black person going to jail or being gunned down in the street by a white person. It's one of those shows where you can really just watch black people existing, just like how you watch white people existing on all these movies and TV shows, movie after movie and TV show after TV fucking show, bitch. So we need more people like Issa Rae. Now I will say, I'm very disappointed and sad that Insecure is coming to an end. But we still have, shows like Blackish, Grownish. Those are definitely lighthearted black TV shows. Absolutely love them. And then we have All American. Now, All American, it does show the struggle a little bit, but it I feel like it shows both sides of the coin, and it's an even balance, on an even keel. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. We just need more stuff like that. Another way, outside of just watching it on the screen, we can simply create what you want in your reality by being what you want to see on the screen. And that's a word. Snaps. Snaps, baby. Random of the day. I have a question. Who out there is still smoking cigarettes? Baby, I can't. You are such a thing of the past. That is so 1940s. Like, me and some friends were out last week for my best friend's birthday. And these guys came up in the place and they were smoking cigarettes. I'm sitting here like, wait a minute, what? Where are we? Y'all still be buying Newports and shit? Disgusting. Yes, I'm judging because who smokes cigarettes? Baby, if you're listening and you still smoke cigarettes, I'm going to want you to kick that habit because, baby, it is not cute. Okay? Not cute. And it stinks. Don't nobody want to smell that shit. Smoke that shit in the comfort of your own home or in your car. Don't be bringing that shit to bars. First of all, didn't they ban that for you to be smoking at a restaurant and whatnot? I mean, granted the fact we was on the patio, but still, bitch, we still at the restaurant. You are still within their establishment. Don't nobody want to smell that shit. Cut that. No, ma'am. No, sir. But that's pretty much it for this episode. Like I said, I done flew in last night. So I'm here with the fam. And y'all know I'm just trying to be in the moment and enjoy myself. But you know, I couldn't forget about y'all. Had to go ahead, get this episode done, and get it posted for y'all to have something to listen to on this here Friday. If nobody told you today that they love you, just know that I love you. And I also want to thank you for watching. Bitch, you ain't even started doing the YouTube yet. What you talking about? I want to thank you guys for listening. And until the next episode of But What is Life, relax, relate, and release into living that light-hearted black movie you want to see. Or get creative and write a screenplay we can all watch.